Everyone, it's Dan here from Thomas Road Support. In this video I'm just going to take you through the process of building a page with WPBakery Page Builder. So far we've actually imported the demo data, we've imported the revolution slider, etc. So it's all very good. You've got loads of pages you can customize as you wish. However, in this video I'm going to take you through how these pages are made, how to create different sections, etc. It's all very straightforward, especially if you've used Visual Composer before. But we'll start a new page from scratch and just show you how things work. So to begin with, we're going to go to New and Page. Before we begin, I'll just dismiss these notices here. Okay, so I'm going to start by creating a fresh page, and I'll call this Dan's Builder Demo. And before we do anything, I'm just going to publish the page. And we'll take a look. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is typically if you're creating a page, when you add a title it will appear. Obviously if we were to add content it would just work like a normal page. What happens when you actually begin to use the page builder, so if we just drop anything into the page, just a random empty row or anything, as soon as we begin to use the page builder, if I update the page and refresh it once it's published, you'll see straight away we're not getting any content, because what happens is the page builder will strip everything from the page, so the title, etc. will all be gone, and you will then need to add it manually. So the idea being we're giving you a completely blank canvas to work with, but I'm just demonstrating what to expect when working with the theme. So if we go back to the actual editor, you'll notice there's actually nothing in the page, which is why we can't see anything, but we're going to go ahead and start adding some content now. So to start with, a good example would be a full screen slider. So if we wanted to, sorry, a full width slider I should say. So if we wanted to go ahead and add one of those, we can pop in the slider block. We've already imported a couple of examples, so I'll just go ahead and choose this one here. And before we do anything else, I'll update the page and just see how that looks. Refresh too soon. Okay, now I've done this intentionally just so you can see how everything works, but you'll notice although we've got the slider there, it's not actually stretching out to be the full width, and that's perfectly expected in this particular setup. What we actually need to do to allow that to stretch to the full width of the page is in our row settings, we can select stretch row, we need to select stretch row and content I should say, and that will actually allow the content in that row, which in this case is the slider, to expand beyond the normal edges, as you can see, and allow it to be full width. Okay, so moving on, let's add a couple of sections. Now the section block here is quite useful to use. It keeps things nice and contained, but it also allows you to create different colour sections within the page. Now what I mean by this, if I just pop one in, I'll add a row, split the row into a couple of columns, and in the left here I'll just pop in a bit of text. Just some random blurb will do. And I'll just clone this over to the right. And for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to clone this entire section, so I've got one above the other. Now if I update and just see how that looks on the front end. And you'll see here we've got two sections right next to one another, which is totally fine. Now you'll notice there's this large gap, and the idea being is each section has its own certain amount of padding. So in this particular setup, if you did want say a white background for it all, you wouldn't necessarily want to use two separate sections like this. You could add more rows to that one section. And what we're trying to show here in this example is if we were to change the background color of, say, the section below, which is quite common to do, we could give it, say, a grey background. And we refresh the page. You'll see there the section below has a grey background, as you'd expect. Now again, what I'm trying to point out here is you'll see where the section is adhering to the irregular container. If you want this background to extend to the entirety of the width of the page, in the section settings, which we can access by this icon here, we want to stretch the section. I'm choosing not to stretch the content because we want the content to remain the same width as everything else, but we're just stretching the entire section out to fill the entire width. Refresh too soon. And there we go. So you can see there, quite a nice setup. We've got the section at the top, we've got the section just below it, but this has a particular background. And again, what we could do is give that, for instance, a nice background image if you wish. So if we just clone this one more time, in the section settings, we'll go to parallax, and we'll choose a nice background image to use in the background. That one should work well. So if we save this, and the section we've cloned was stretched, as we know, so we can now quite simply create a nice background parallax effect here. Now if we look at this example, although it's looking very good with the background image, you'll notice the text here is a little hard to read with the dark background image. And what you can do here is add a special CSS class to this particular row or the column, and they will make the text white for you, so it's very easy and legible. Now to do this, if we head back into the page settings, and we'll go to the row in question here, which is the bottom one. In the column settings, what we can do is under extra class names we can pop in white-text. If we do the same here, that will actually allow the text itself to become white in this area. It makes it nice and legible. So if we replace a few of these bits here, so let's say if we wanted to pop one of the team feeds in, etc., we can pop in a row, and from the bespoke blocks we've got here, let's pop in a team feed. As you can see, within the team feed we've got a couple of different options. We can choose how many to show as well as which style. And in the section below that, I think I'll pop a portfolio feed in. And again, within the particular block, we can choose one of the many different layouts we've got here. If we update, again, refresh too soon. My local setup does take a few moments. And as you can see, as we expect, we've got the nice feed and layout ready to go. And that's pretty much it. Now as you can see, the page builder is very easy to use. If you haven't used it before, then do take a moment to browse the provided demo data, which obviously you can either tweak as you wish or rebuild. But it is very simple once you get the hang of it. If you have any problems, then do give me a shout over on support. Other than that, have fun with the theme and thanks for watching.